got a question. If you're looking at this flat piece of land, and let's say it was around 1917, that's a clue. What do you think this flat piece of land might have been used for in terms of agriculture?
Horse race.
Horse race. What did you say? Horse race?
Horse race.
Oh, that's a good one. I never thought of that one. Not big enough. It's not. What was the other? But I liked it. The what?
Vegetables.
Vegetables. But you're getting
Victory
it's a
Garden?
war. Ding, ding, ding. Victory Garden. So. It's 1917 was a clue because it was World War I. In World War I and in World War II, folks built things. Originally, they were called war gardens, and later called Victory Gardens. As a marketing person, I think Victory is a much better name than a war garden. But this was where they grew fruits and vegetables to support people in a time of food hardship. Mr. Bodine was very involved in the war garden efforts. There was a group of mainline gentlemen headed by Edward Bach. Does anybody know who Bach is? He was the Saturday Evening Post. No? Anyway, he was a very influential guy. He lived in Merion. He solicited men to come around and ask the people who had land to spare if they could spare acreage and horses and labor and implements to build these war gardens. And so it was a mainline war garden effort that Mr. Bodine was heavily involved in. So from here in Villanova all the way down the end of the main line where Mr. Bach was in Merion, they had 500 acres for the efforts during World War I. So the Bodines were very involved. The other thing I want to talk about right now is something that Mrs. Bodine, Eleanor Bodine, did, which is very much a woman ahead of her time. She had an idea, and this is during the war and just before the war, she had an idea that she might recruit young women, college women, who wanted to study gardening, or they wanted to discover, horticulture. They wanted to study gardening and horticulture, and bring them here on the property where they could learn in a real world atmosphere. Here's the greenhouses, here's all the green area. At the end, we'll see the superintendent of the whole property. They would learn under his tutelage. And so she worked with Bryn Mawr College, an all-women's college. She worked with the National College for Horticulture for Women, which was the first horticulture college for women in the country. That's now Temple's Ambler campus. She worked with those folks to develop this program for young women. And what we'll see on this tour is the young women came and lived here, and they built a dorm for them, which we will shortly see. They built it out of horse stables and some outbuildings, and they built a beautiful building for them as a dorm. The young women jokingly called it Squirrel Inn, but the name of the property still is Squirrel Inn. That is on the Stoneleigh side of the property, but we'll get to see it. It's a beautiful property that's been put into a house. It's been made into a house. It's on the Stoneleigh side of the property, so that is not endangered because it's only the Oakwell side that is in danger. But the owner will, if they have their way, there's going to be parking lots and soccer fields and who knows what else. But Mrs. Bodine was really much ahead of her time because this is at a time when women had just gained the right to vote, but she was doing this program for young women to study and parlay this into work. So both of the Bodines were really involved in helping people, and they were really very much ahead of their time.